We're live in Lakesh.
Good
Lakesh
Lakesh.
Veritas.
You look so spring and sunny like.
Thank you. You look like you just came from frolicking in the flowers.
How did you know?
Their outfit and the youthful butterfly clips.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's me frolicking in the
got some.
flowers.
Sure you don't have no petals stuck in your hair. Yeah. So welcome. How you feeling today?
I feel wonderful. I hope everyone who's joining us feels wonderful too.
Yes. So welcome everyone. Today we're talking about integrity. We're continuing with the tenets within of a sun, and the idea about the tenets. Our purpose for sharing this is to make it clear on who we are for our viewers, and it gives clarity to you all and who you're dealing with and how deep you'd like to engage with us in terms of services, being part of community. And just as a quick recap, some of the tenets that we spoke of previously were upholding energy hygiene as a lifestyle, where you maintain your personal energy hygiene practices every day. This is who we are. We are clears. It's a lifestyle. It sounds redundant, but part of where the issue is that sometimes people do it like a one-off here and there. And for those who are part of our community, our goal in terms of becoming coherent beacons of light, emissaries of all that is on the planet, energy hygiene is foundational and required for us to sustain that light, to be the signal on the planet. And so, you got to start off right.
Absolutely. I mean, when we think about what is it that we are maintaining our luminosity and our light from, which is the opposite of that, it is consistently broadcasting.
All day long, doing
So,
what it does.
yeah, so we don't have to rail against it. We just have to be what illuminates it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's opposite day, so I'm just going to do the opposite. So our next tenet that we covered was be a steward of truth. Speak and live from truth. Do not bypass, mislead, or distort. Align with divine will. And funny enough, for those who may be pacing or those who may not be, you often hear us say in Lakesh and Veritas. Well, in Lakesh is oneness. Veritas is truth. And I remember you sharing with me years ago, and this has stuck with me. This is embedded within the sun calibration class for learning how to get answers from your body, that your body was established in truth. And anytime you're not being the truth, meaning being a lie, you become weaker. You lose power, you lose coherence. And so this is, again, another tenet that helps us be coherent, be a beacon, fulfill purpose, be an emissary of the all that is by striving to uphold truth, whether it's to ourselves or others.
It really speaks to our topic today of integrity. There's so much that can be said about being erect, correct, having the strength to stand up straight and be clear and communicate and broadcast clarity into the field. If you're an S shape, or if you're, like the thing that's at the
sloppy equation.
at the dealerships, that
The wacky inflatable, just
well, and that's the reality of what happens, that you lose the integrity and the congruency that you were designed with through your conscious will to do so. And then that informs the feel with less than what is correct for us.
yeah. It's what no spinal column looks like.
Yes.
Ooh. But that's the thing. The truth erects your spinal column. It makes you strong. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm standing on the square, stretching to the heavens.
That's right. That's
It's different.
that's the courage to be. It takes courage to be the truth. Someone says something, or we want to say, that's out of order over there, but you think, oh no, I won't say that. I shouldn't say that. I need to be quiet. I need to be humble. All of that is less than the truth. If it arises within you as a actual experience, if you allow it to experience, then you become stronger
Yes.
in the truth of who you are. When you don't say it, in the lack of courage, you become less than that. You become something else.
Being in front of the car dealership, just going any which way.
Yes.
And so our next tenet that we covered, and this was last week, Honor sovereignty, yours and others. Respect free will. Avoid projection or control. Honor energetic boundaries. And this is so funny because we were kind of talking about this morning in
Yes.
conversation with family and
Yeah.
how we have this impulse as humans to control the other. And sometimes it's masked as love. Like, I'm doing this because I love you. It's like, that ain't love. And this is, it's something that we just haven't quite learned, I think.
Yeah.
But this helps us have direction, helps us understand, you know what, let me stay free. Matter of fact, let me ensure that I allow you to be free as well, and just how empowering it is. And we went deep with it, but you have any thoughts on this?
Well, to recall back to this morning and our talk about it, the clarity that I have as I work on it, that it is not so much that you must do something. It is more that I must free myself of the will to make you do something, because then that comes back to me. It slaps me in the face and makes me a failure when you don't do it.
That part. I'll
You
give a
know,
real life
so that's
example.
what parents go through. That's what husbands and wives go through. That's what like, I want you to be right, and I'm so sad that you're not right. What kind of
Yeah.
sloppy
I'm
equation
gonna
is
let
that?
myself fall out and roll on
Yes.
the floor because you fall out and roll on the floor. Now we both roll on the floor on our backs, turtle style. So
And that kind of frustration creates failure, and failure is not success.
it is not. That is not an equation for success.
Yes, so I'm very exploring that very much in many layers. These tenets can be explored for years. There's never an end to the clarity and the understanding that you can have with these tenets, and I'm going deeper into that one and
Yes, yes.
finding truth.
Yeah, most certainly. It always works out when you honor the sovereignty, especially when it comes to feeling like you need to help someone, make them do something, make them be better. And if there isn't an open invitation for it, it's problematic. It's out of order. We're infringing on their free will.
It's
We're
so much,
infringing on their lesson.
it's all about hubris, it's all about ego.
Yeah. Like, I'm the one who helped you. I saved you behind. Or, I'm
Or I'm
channeling
trying
my
to,
ancestry because I
or
was,
I'm trying to save you.
yeah.
Why won't you let me?
So let me tell you. All right, Mom, if you're watching, I'm about to talk about you. So I sent my mom the link today. So I don't know if she's on, but we were in a conversation this morning, and she was speaking to me about my brother. He's going through some drama. It's domestic stuff with parenting and in custody. So she's like, I was trying to tell him, but he didn't want to listen. And it's like, Mom. She's like, talk to your brother. And family, they're always pointing me at my different family members. Tarvars, you should talk to them. You should. Nope. And I'm over there. I'm working out on the phone, speakerphone. Nope. It never works out that way. Why would I get in the way of his lesson? He never invited me. I'm wrong.
You're the posse. Don't you know who you are? You're the posse.
No, I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for that.
Like, they won't do it with my will. I want you to be
Yeah.
hubris and egotistical and go and gather all your friends and go make them do it.
Yeah, so I'm calling in reinforcements. It's like, reinforcements are not answering. The number you have reached is.
That's been disconnected.
So today is integrity. And on the thumbnail, I believe it says, learn to trust yourself again. Because somewhere in the idea of integrity, or not having integrity with ourselves, we lose this sense of trust. So I have a little blurb here, a hook that I want to read to you. What if the biggest thing that's holding you back isn't a lack of knowledge, resources, opportunity, or talent? What if it's something much closer? What if every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken the very foundation required to create the life you say you want? And so today, it's integrity. And our tenet is simply operate with integrity. And the sub line for this tenet is show up fully, keep your word, and walk your talk. Yeah, marinate on that. Marinate on that. And so that's what we're going to dive into today. And before we do, I'd like to go over a couple of announcements and just acknowledge some of the people who are here. So welcome everyone to the live stream. You ready to take a look at yourself as it relates to integrity and keeping your word with yourself and others, and not so much other people, but self, and like all the different ways in which this impacts our reality. However, so we have quite a bit going on. Right now, we're in the middle of DNA activation and device clearing for the property clearers. So, for anyone who is unaware, DNA activation is a process of reconnecting the portion of our DNA that's been severed from off world interferences. Clearly, humanity is not functioning the way we ought to be. It's clear. Something's screws are loose. you know, cables are disconnected. The circuitry is short circuit. And so with DNA activation, it's assisting you with turning back on. But with that requires replication of the strands. So really what we're doing in tandem with the activation process to assist you with connecting with your greater multidimensional self is how to sustain and build upon that through lifestyle. And some of that is, for example, we've covered the C's, criticizing, complaining, condemning, cowardice, controlling, cursing, etc. It's just a lot. But, you break one C, you break them all. And the idea of operating as our higher dimensional self, it requires us to pop into accountability, pop into level of power that being a victim does not allow or permit for us. So we've been covering that in the last class, and we're having a really good time. It's a real intimate course, but at the same time, we're able to dive deeper due to the questions. And then also we have device clearing. We're picking up the thread today. And so we're going to have a good time with that. Last week we were covering, what was it? Actually, it was the week before last because we're doing it bi-weekly. We covered cell phones and just how pervasive the interferences from our phones. It's a whole world of interference and different things that come in and influence us. And we're in the crown chakra, so we're thinking about like what's influencing the crown and in our minds, our consciousness. I can feel you like, yeah, Taurus. Go ahead. I can feel you like,
Um, we have been teaching quantum light property clearing for a long time. We are the foremost authority on how to clear property through a method that is not, even though this is the most ancient of understandings, even our most ancient ancestors knew that they had to put salt around the house when people got married to keep the darkness out, even though people knew that they had to do certain things because there was this other force that would come in. The method that we are using is extremely effective, and it lets us know that every single thing needs our attention. So the idea of doing our devices that we take into the bathroom with us, that we put our hands on, that we're always reaching for when we're eating a burger, that we are to keep touching and then putting next to our faces, and the negative that is contained within them, that all of these devices, the Wi-Fi, the routers, all of these electronics must be cleaned so that we can remain free of the external experience of using them and free of what we are saying and doing on those. What are you saying? Did you cuss someone out? Did you say a word that you shouldn't have said? Did you have a thought while you were talking to somebody who called you, who was a random call that was trying to sell you something? Did you have a thought that needs to be cleared? Of course, these devices need to be cleared, and all of the wires that they run throughout our entire world. So it's not only that, we have courses coming up that will be on airplanes, on legal documents, on animals. Everything must be cleared, and we are teaching everyone how to do this. So this class is a service. You can get the service where we'll clear all of your company machines, all of your people keep getting fired, you keep having people on the same computers. They
it's
need to
real.
be
Yeah, the
cleared.
memory.
They need to be cleared, and you need to be cleared from that so we can clear your business circumstances. We do this. We even have uh, accounts with storage facilities because there's always something in there that's bumping up against the people at the registers at night, and they're calling 911 like there's something in here. you know so we are the foremost authorities on this. We are teaching this. This is open for everyone to learn. Tavares is our main teacher, although we do have another teacher on the West Coast, and we are developing teachers for this, and we have tutoring for this. This is something that everyone needs. If you can't identify why the negative is so persistent in your experience, you might consider clearing that which you have never given attention to. Whether it's your house, your car, your phone, your children. So not only are we doing this as a service, but we offer this to you as an educational process. We are developing Homo Angelicus University. We are developing a place, a safe place where we can have people come in for classes, where you can do classes online. There is an opportunity for you to have a better experience than what you've ever had before. This is not only hope, this is an effective method that will change your life. So we encourage everyone to seriously consider, and that the things that you may be doing, the sage you may be burning, the chants you may be chanting, the prayers you may be praying, continue. And you can see how it has worked and how long it works. Then you can try this and see how this works.
Well, this works because
Yes.
for me, years ago, when I realized I can shift the environmental field, meaning I can influence the occupants by way of removing that overlay that's continuing to reinforce arguments, reinforce the same patterns, it changed the game. It helps you see the power that you have to shift reality. And it's something that many of us want because we've been in a world where we have felt powerless over our circumstance. But part
Yeah.
of it is the lack of education of energy hygiene, that this world everything gets dirty. Everything requires cleaning and clearing. Your thoughts require cleaning. Your emotions require cleaning. The debris from your past experiences require cleaning, or else you will repeat and reinforce the same loop pattern over and over again, unwaveringly.
Well, and the environment has everything to do with it. There's a change from frequency from the forest to the ghetto. There's a difference in
Yeah,
frequency.
you can
We
feel it.
all know this.
Like when you're on a bus and you're going through the different towns, you can see the frequency change through the architecture.
And the same applies to the apartments you live in and the houses you live in. The people who lived there before, did they get a divorce? And the people before them, did they get a divorce? And the people before them. And then you move in happily married, and you're informed 24 hours a day while you're sleeping, while you're awake, of the arguments and the insults and the abuse that was left behind. All of this can be cleared. And I want to share for all of those who are new to this and think that they have to believe something. Your belief is not needed. It's not one of the elements that you have to bring to this. If you would not work against it, that would be what you would bring. Like, just don't.
Yeah, don't get in the way. Stay aside. Let the energy do what it do.
Yeah, and you don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to attend any retreats. you don't, you know, you don't have to do this. Works, period, and it
Yes.
has always worked. And it was part of what was given to us with creation, that there were two different fields and that they had to be kept in balance. And the way you keep it in balance is you do your part. And your part is keeping yourself clean just like you take a shower.
That's right. Wash your energetic back. So speaking of which, we have next month quantum light vehicle clearing. That's going to be making its way back, and I know many of you are interested in that. And it's again, the extensions. Our vehicles, we traverse through roads of rage, trauma, anxiety, all these different fields that very much like our physical bodies, when we're moving through time and space, dirt and debris builds up. It's the same thing with our vehicles. And if you think about, if you don't wash your vehicle, for a week and what has built up, think about what has built up energetically, the causal thing. And you and I, we speak about it often, how it's such a subtle, out of sight, out of mind thing, but it has such deep ramifications because you're driving and you're wondering why people crazy on the road cut you off, and like part of it is the attractor field of your vehicle pulling these type of negative experiences in due to maybe you had some drama in a phone call in the vehicle, and you didn't clear that up, or maybe you got into a car accident and maybe you got hit and you got a ding and the vehicle has trauma, and then it's kind of pulling and attracting these type of experiences. And this is a very common case with us clients who keep getting accidents and hit in the same area because the trauma. And these are like perfect case studies that show that unless you rectify the field, you're going to keep repeating the same thing.
It's actually the way that the law works is that if you don't back the, if you have the trauma and you don't collapse the imprint of the trauma, then the imprint will still remain. So there's so much more to this, and I'll just mention the fact that especially here, we're in Georgia, where there was a lot of war and activities. The highways were built on top of those battlefields.
Yeah.
Everything is still happening.
Doesn't, yeah, the 7-lane highway does feel like a battlefield.
And that's why people feel very apprehensive about driving. Like, I didn't know I was going to war. I thought I was going to the grocery store. But there's that experience, and then there are those who are sensitive to it, and there are those who are enacting what they're sensitive to. But most of that has to do with the resonant energy from your vehicle, from what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, I should have told her.
Yep.
It's like, oh, there's some war energy coming. Why are they trying to cut me off? Why are they on my bumper? Why are they being so aggressive with me? Because you've had aggressive thoughts. And we have not been taught energy hygiene, which would help us with that, where if you do have it, there is a remedy, and we tell everyone you don't have to pay for a session to use Ho'oponopono. Just that offsets the energy of aggression, and offsets the energy of war. It offsets the energy from yourself to calm down with yourself. You don't need to smack yourself around.
Yeah.
I feel so bad. I need to feel sad. I'm crying in the car.
Stop it. Stop contaminating your space.
And the highway.
Yeah, just adding on. And that's the thing. Like, it's, I've been thinking about the phrase being in this world but not of it. And, when I traverse and go to the stores and do my errands, and ensuring that I am above the turbulence, making sure that I am outside the level of resonance where anything wild like that can happen. And so doing things like the Ho'oponopono, it's an excellent way to, again, keep your field clear and like unadulterated and uninterfered with by way of the mind.
It's true.
Having control over this. And I find more and more like this is where it's at. And most people are just kind of on autopilot, or letting the devices, as you say, and the different things, or the life experiences, the disgruntledness with the family member or the friend or the husband and wife, just dictate their disposition, and then it cascades into something much worse.
And there are very real, very dangerous, heinous acts taking place up and down our highway systems, at our truck stops, and along the businesses, along the highways, and on the highways, and in the trucks and vans. Keep yourself free of it by doing Ho'oponopono. It costs you nothing. Turn off the radio.
Yes.
Do the Ho'oponopono. Keep yourself safe.
Yes, yes. So we're kicking quantum light vehicle clearing off on the second, third, and fourth. The second and fourth Thursday of the month. And then, that's Wednesday, correction. And then you're going to be bringing back the Luminous Life Method on the second, third, and fourth Tuesday of July.
Yes.
And so we're going to have a good time there. And this Luminous Life Method, my understanding is that we're assisting souls with cultivating a curated lifestyle to sustain luminosity, like by way of engaging with the light in a myriad of different ways, whether it be literally pulling in light by way of light body activation, the thoughts that we think that produce light, the foods that we eat, literally light, sun exposure, etc., etc. Another type of really neat lifestyle things such as detoxification, fasting, curating our food lifestyle. So, you have any thoughts about the next upcoming session?
I, because we have not been taught that we are light and we were that our blueprint, our original blueprint, was for us to operate as light. Most of us have no idea that we operate. We eat the vegetables that are made from the light, from the sun. We eat the meat that eats the grass that ate the, and mostly we've been taught to be afraid of the sun. There's a huge campaign to black out the sun. All of these things are to abscond with power that was in the original blueprint so that we can remain enslaved and imprisoned to whatever else is being presented. So eating real food that has been fed by way of light, everything eats, and we can eat light more and more and more and be more and more of what we were originally designed to be, but we have never been told that we were light.
No.
We've
No.
never been told there's an opportunity to resuscitate it. We think it's mythical.
Yeah.
Those people over there talk about we light. What are they talking about? We light. I can see that we not light.
Right.
I've heard people say things like that, and I'm like, so you can see as far as you've been taught, and you have swallowed it a whole cloth. You swallowed everything you were taught that you are less than what you are, and so you can't even imagine. How dare someone say we lie? You just lying.
Give me 15 minutes with you. I'll change your perspective.
Yes, so the idea of luminous light is this is your opportunity to be educated in processes and understandings that will allow you to be more of what your blueprint was and has been stolen from you. And as you do it, the side effect is you light up the world. Everybody becomes better. Your children, your ancestors, your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, those who have already exited this lifetime and those who are coming through are shifted and changed from your clarity. Just like you were born with your great-grandfather thinking he wasn't all that, and now you don't think you're all that, this is the opposite of that. You are light and all that light illuminates, which is all that is dark. So it's a glorious idea.
Indeed it is. So stay tuned for anyone who's looking to join Luminous Life Method. Prerequisite is sun calibration. Sun calibration is needed so that you can ascertain yes and no answers. This is working with your body's intelligence to receive direct, clear information, which I don't know if you know you can do that, because some people are like, you're not light. You can't get answers from your body. Yes, you can. Give us 15 minutes and we'll tell you how.
Some of the people who took the first round were able to establish what their actual biological age was, and then after taking the class for a month, what their age became. So if they were a certain age, they may have become younger just through the clarity of what was taking place. We were able to identify deficiencies in iron or copper or different things in the body.
Various minerals.
All of these things are available because the light method is you have to know what light needs to be shown upon. So, and you become better, greater, more in that process. So there are those who are on the line today who have been in the class and who have already experienced that and know about it, and there's more of that to come.
Well, certainly. And so also that month we have Quantum Light Property Clearing pop-up. It's a one-day follow-up session that's going to be on the first Thursday in July. And this is for all property clearers, calling all quantum light property clearers. So this is a complimentary session where we're looking to open the floor, provide the space for any questions that you've had during your experience of learning the process. And so we've had several quantum light property clearing classes, new clearers, and enough time has passed for them to have a variety of experiences, bring them to the forefront. And we're also encouraging some of the veterans to return back. And this will also be utilized to ensure that everyone has the up-to-date language. And again, to answer any questions and update you on what's to come. Because as LaOta mentioned, we have a lot of clearing sessions that are auxiliary or a la carte that are gonna be sprinkled throughout the year, and you may want to get into some of them. You might want to take a level two, so we'll make sure that all of that information is available to you. And then lastly, we have energetic protection and defense. This is coming up next month too. This will be held on Thursday. So this is a very introductory class, but people need to know how to defend themselves. People need to learn how to pull out the sword. And the mantra for this class is you protect yourself by knowing who you are. So you can't really protect yourself from the outside world if you don't understand who you are, because the reality is you're protecting yourself from yourself. Just like the example you were giving about being on the road, when you realize that you are the one drawing in the accidents, you start making some changes. You start putting some barriers and boundaries. You start reeling that thought. Oh man, let me pull that negative thought back in, because I don't want that to materialize into the field. And I start pulling in more of that. And so it's again understanding that you are a holographic being, that life is reflecting your inner world, and that if you can put yourself in check, you can address what you're confronting and really again defend yourself off by offsetting what's inside of you. And so it's a very different perspective than how we were raised, because we've been taught to be victims, and that
Yeah.
someone's victimizing us, and the reality is that we have brought that forth and we can put that down too.
Absolutely. This is such an in-depth understanding. So much of what we've been taught through our traditions and our customs and our cultures has made us confused about how to live a correct and upright life. We think that other people should be in service to our elevation because of the misunderstandings in our traditions. And,
Yeah,
and then
things.
and then we think that we are nothing. There's more to this, and we can talk about it more as we get into
Yeah.
integrity.
Yeah, most certainly. So I'm going to wrap this up with some of the last little highlights. So if you haven't checked out one of our last podcasts, we got a new live stream, a pre-recording that was up. You can also catch Diane in Catch Studio One with midday meditations. She brought us into the crown chakra yesterday, pulling in light, uh, universal light through the crown. Also, Lauren of the Sun every Monday, 6 p.m. She's bringing forth the flower consciousness. Her and Diane were together speaking about lavender. We all went to the lavender fields to pick some lavender. I'm still doing drive-by sniffs on my bundle, and then I'll just kind of go about my day. But it's so cool to see the continuity, because we're in the crown chakra. Speaking of which, we're going into our final crown chakra session this upcoming Sunday, and then we're going to be restarting the cycle for our third phase of the light body movement. And so for anybody who's interested and you've been tuning into us and like, I want to do light body, but I want to start off fresh, now is your time. Again, our goal is to turn on the technology and realizing that, as LaOta was saying, we're light. And to bring that into really a practical sense. None of that, this little light of mine, ain't nothing little about your light. You so big, you can't even fit inside of you. But part of it is like removing the layers that have been dampening and eclipsing the light. So, we have to remove the distortion. We have to learn to expand, and most importantly, learn to stabilize. Dan, you mind taking care of that? Thank you. Learning to stabilize the light that we pull in, because sometimes there are people who are actively doing practices, breathing and pulling in light, but they can't hold it. The light just sieves out, maybe from an argument, maybe it was a erroneous thought. And this session, one of the things that's really good about it, because I know you all love hanging out with us, this is a way you can hang out with us. Every first, second, third, and fourth Sunday, an hour and a half, um, teachings from LaOta and myself, activations, and the platform is open for any commentary and or questions that we would answer live. So it's a very engaging session that is open to the general public for anybody who is, again, looking to rekindle and revamp the light within themselves.
This is so rich. It is the seven chakras, We go from the base all the way through the crown over the course of 7 months. And your contribution is $45, and your comments is your contribution. What we will give you is the information that evolves and develops. It comes in from our guidance as we learn and what we have previously done. The ability for your light to be illuminated in your life is in direct proportion to your interest in being part of the light body movement. You are part of you. Can be your tribe. This can be the place where you have a voice. You are able to speak. You have questions. There is learning material. There is opportunity for expansion. And if you just come and listen, there will be a change in your experience. So it's well worth your time, an hour and a half. And we do this only when we do 4 Saturdays out of every month. And Sundays. And when there's a 5th Sunday, we rest.
Right.
So it really is a very comfortable way. We used to do, for years, I did a monthly talk that didn't really have the participation at the same level. This is like the live stream that we're here today, where you can make comments, you can put things in the chat, you can raise your hand, you can talk, and you can get greater clarity, and you can see the others that are pacing with you, so to say, energetically, not necessarily visible.
Most certainly. Lastly, join Diane and Look at Studio tomorrow. We got Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles, which would be featuring myself, Lauren of the Sun, Tiffany of the Sun. And so our next topic is Everywhere You Step is Sacred Space. So we're really diving into the facet of protection via quantum light property clearing, how being a clearer protects you in this world. You know, your capacity to keep dirt or interference up off of you is protection in and of itself, because it's when the dirt and the interferences start creeping in, that's when things go haywire. And so we're gonna, as usual, share the chronicled stories that are unique to each of us, because we all have a different facet engagement with this modality. And so we're always having a good time. So you can join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the live stream on this channel. And if you're here and you're not subscribed and you like what we're doing, click the subscribe button and the bell notification if you're interested in staying in the loop. We're here every Thursday at 12 noon, hanging out with you all. So we're about to dive into integrity. You ready, LaOta?
Just about. I just want to say that we are building a future that you could be part of, and you can contribute to it through either sending the video to someone else, subscribing, making a donation, doing something to secure your space in the future of the teaching and the things that we come forward to share with you. There is an opportunity. You don't have to be left on the outside. Everything that you do is recorded and counted. So we thank you for that.
Yeah, that's that Akasha talk.
Yes.
All right, so integrity. So again, we are here speaking about integrity, and this is one of the tenets. And integrity is so interesting. I have a plethora of notes and talking points that I'm going to bring up, but as usual, keep things flowing with you. And you know, we've been calling it a divine masculine. Integrity, discipline, and action. These characteristics, these attributes that are associated with it, and how imperative it is for us to be coherent. And sometimes when I think about integrity, I think about wholeness. I think about how something that lacks integrity just is not whole. You know, like something fractured and missing. And you know, there's again so many different ways we can look at this, but I'd like you to maybe kick things off. Like, what is integrity?
And there's a lot that can be said about this, but I'll begin with the idea, as you said, you think of it as the masculine, but the reality is it is the feminine that teaches the masculine integrity. We should remember who we are. It is the mother that teaches the child to tell the truth. It is the mother that teaches the child to be erect and correct. Now, the child has other influences and other things are coming in, but it should be that the understanding is that as the divine feminine, we must be that which we teach so that the student will learn. So it is, of course, for the masculine, but it is essential for the feminine to be that, to have the courage to tell our son the truth whether he likes it or not. It is the integrity that exists in the clarity that I'm responsible. In the feminine design, the devotion to the child creates a dynamic where there is a natural tendency towards being integritous. And then that integrity is then delivered to the ones that we are responsible for because we are responsible for them. So this is such a beautiful expression of the two polarities of creation, the divine feminine and masculine working together. There are no men who have been born onto this planet that have not come through a woman. Of course, we must teach that which is needed. So our telling ourselves the truth is essential because it will help us further supply humanity with those who are filling up the planet. So it's a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that to carry the gift of life requires a certain amount of clarity. Otherwise, we become incongruent and unable to function as the feminine, and then the masculine does not have the discipline of childhood to grow into that person. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And so to distill it down a little more, we're dealing with concepts like having trustworthiness, being able to keep your word. And oftentimes, when people are saying integrity, it's often dealing with the outside world, like upholding your integrity in the face of another. But I have seen in my journey that it's really coming back to self. Like you can't give what you don't have.
Yes.
So you have to first learn to have integrity, and some of this idea of keeping your word to yourself, trusting yourself, is something that I see as like a schism or a miasm within us, where the participation in society does not support integrity. Like if you think about, like for example, I quit one of my sales jobs because it was so incongruent. It was manipulation, coercion. It was directly going against upholding the integrity that I was looking to stabilize in myself, with the coherency of being whole in the face of I got to collect my check. I got to lie. I got to bend the truth. There is no honor in doing that, and then I'm affected. And the next thing I know, like I can't keep my word to myself. But it's even before the job. I can see within like the family structure, little white lies or not being able to honor and keep your word. And then next thing you know, you end up developing these types of traits. And so, and something that I've seen also with integrity is, especially with trustworthiness, is like, this lying to ourselves. And how sometimes when we're lying to ourselves, we do it for so long, we don't believe a thing that we say.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
true.
It's like, it's so wild. And then how not believing us directly impacts our trust in the divine. It's like we can't
Absolutely.
trust us, so we can't. How can we even trust that the universal forces are going to move on our behalf if we can't trust ourselves to not eat the thing that we say we're going to have some integrity? You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I'd like to take it from my point of view back to the divine feminine. I have a child or a grandchild, and I say to them, don't touch that. And I have to remember that all the words are a frequency, and that as I articulate it, that the energy of that has to follow through and be delivered. So when we raise our children where we say something to them and then we don't follow up, we become wishy-washy.
Oh, I know a lot of that.
Yes, and
Go
so
ahead. Yeah.
I'm really speaking to what you just said, that this is where you learn the little white lies. This is where you learn well, I'll compromise. You learn it at the point where when the person who is responsible for you says something, they mean it so through and through that they will get out of their chair and make it so. That's the integrity aspect of it. It's like, I am integrating the words I am saying, so much so I will get up and make sure that your little fingers are not on the thing that's going to break and hurt you. Every time. Every time. I'm not going to yell across the room and then turn the other way while you go do something else.
Yeah.
And then know you did something else but don't feel like going over there.
And
So
start creating a little monster after that.
So this is where the whole society has become a little slack and lax, is that then as the mother then becomes slack also, in that, oh, they're okay, you know, or I'm not even going to say nothing because they're not going to do it, or I'm not prepared to get up. And I have said to so many mothers, just don't say anything unless you're prepared to get up. You'd be better off being silent.
Just just let it happen instead of getting upset. Don't make me so and so, and then.
So
oh
when we think about, we think, how were we raised as the feminine and the masculine? How do we raise our children? How do we support our grandchildren? And then when that grandchild becomes our husband, and we say, did you do the things you said you were going to do? And they look at you like, no. Or they lie, or they obfuscate, or they leave, or it goes on for 6 months and it never gets done. Where does that come from? The buck stops with the person who's teaching the lesson of integrity. So it is incumbent upon those who are responsible for it. Starts with the child. Of course, we could correct this in our adulthood, but it really starts there. It starts with who is giving the example of what the truth and integrity is. Have you ever heard somebody say, well, I know if my mother said it is so?
Yeah.
So that exists as a reality, but it's a rare thing to hear.
Indeed.
You know, or if she said it, you can count on it. I often say to myself, and sometimes say it out loud, I'll say something and then I'll reinform it and say, my word is bond. That will happen, and you can count on me because I have put the necessary integrity into that thought so that it will be able to be manifest as a reality in your life of whatever is saying. So all the things you said relate back to this idea of where did the first incongruence come in? It comes in through our lineage, who raised us, who raised the ones who raised. It comes in through the ancestry, but it can be corrected at any point. You 60 years old, you got grandchildren, you could correct it today. You start today, you do it every day, 20 times a day, 30 times a day, it corrects itself. 21 days, you have a new habit.
See, but that's the thing, it's the consistency, the upholding the integrity time and time again. So what is it that you see that would be a motivator for someone other than being sick and tired of the experience, the built-in reward for lacking integrity?
We can see by the condition of our illness and the way we look and our relationship with what we eat and who we associate with, that it would be better to be more integritous. We live in a world where everyone is in varying levels and degrees of this experience. So if you go to work, you probably meet people who need integrity, and you may have to do as you did. You may have to draw a line that says, you know, I often tell clients when they say they're being abused at work, I'm like, step off. Somebody tells me somebody's slapping them around the home, I'm like, step off. This is the first thing that you can do, and it takes courage.
It most certainly does.
It takes courage, and in your story, when you did it, you hadn't thought it all the way through, but it didn't matter because here you are. successful. You didn't think it all the way through, so you're like, oh, I don't have my rent money, but you did Ho'oponopono and you got your rent money.
Sure did.
So because you're capable of overcoming whatever it is, but we don't have courage when we're sitting on our couch thinking about it. The courage comes in when you decide to say it to someone. I'm taking off my headset and I'm leaving this job. That's the courageous moment. And then you have to know that you have the power to make the next thing happen, whatever it is. Next thing you're afraid of, if you're afraid of the landlord or you're afraid of whatever it is, that's the next thing you have to have the courage to confront. And then eventually you become the lion.
Most certainly, most certainly.
You become the king of your experience, the conqueror of whatever the thing that you're afraid of is.
So let's speak a little bit about the fear regarding being having integrity, because integrity can be, it's not necessarily truth, but it's bumping elbows with the idea of our capacity to uphold truth, or a higher standard, higher morale. And in our world, it is a scary thing. And so I have seen that within the experience of lacking integrity, there is this energy leak that happens. And it's so wild, like whether it's with yourself, whether it's with others, and just from the simple fact of not being able to keep your word. And what happens when you don't keep your word, and then the time that passes by and unfolds of not keeping your word, and then you're tied to it, and then it's this weird pull on you, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel, you know what I'm talking about? It don't feel good. But then that keeps happening here. So then next thing you know, we got all these tethers of incomplete ideas that like are weighing on us and pulling on us, and siphon off of our life force. And then also it's like this incompleteness, this fragmentation. This is one of the reasons why I mentioned earlier that when I think of integrity, I think of whole, like a complete idea, like the sphere. How's this landing for you, LaOta? What are your thoughts on this?
I think you described this so perfectly. The first thought I was having was integrity begins when you agree. Someone says, you say, this needs to be done. I'm going to do it. And then you don't give it any, then maybe you make the next 3 steps and you get the things or you get the tools or you do it, but you haven't really given the attention to your word to you. So you haven't given your attention to building your muscle of strength for you, because it's not about them, it's about you. Are you strong enough to carry the weight of your own idea? We don't think of it like that.
No, it's a very different perspective, but that's ultimately the truth if we distill it down.
So the idea of making sure that what you agree to, because we are in all levels of agreements and contracts with all manner of things when we come into this lifetime, and then so when we start tying ourselves up with contracts, because we can see the necessity for something, but we don't see the necessity to make the time to do it. This is self-sabotage. There's just no other way around it. And then when another person says, but you said you were going to do so and so and so and so. You were going to, drive to the forest and cut down the trees and bring back the wood. And you went and bought a saw. And you got gas in the truck. And you didn't do it. And then you think, why are they doing that? Why are they saying that to me? Why don't they see I'm going to do it? I said I would do it. But there's no evidence.
Lying behind. Lying behind. Well, it's like when it happens, right?
However, we all have done this. So it's really this idea of reverence and respect for everything we say and do. So if someone asks me, will I come to their house and cook a 7-course meal and feed their children and take care of it, I'm very clear that that's not going to happen. I'm very clear that I'm not going to say maybe. Maybe I will do that later. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen, because I can see that I don't have the will to follow through and do it, although maybe I would enjoy it, but I don't have the necessary will, energy, time, or interest in doing it, I don't have to apologize for that. If I see that the cabinets need painting in my kitchen, I don't have to say, I'm going to paint those cabinets. I can see that I may not have the interest in painting those cabinets. And it doesn't seem like a serious emergency to me right now. So I'm not going to broadcast a frequency that I cannot make coherent and deliver. And this is where I think the breakdown comes in, is that we see things, we want to do things, we want to help people, we want to look a certain way, we want to accomplish certain things, but we don't have the proper respect for the coherency that's needed to accomplish the task. And that's where the breakdown is. And then comes back to, did your mother have the energy to get up every time you touch something with your little 2-year-old fingers and move it rather than just say no?
Nah. Mom, yeah, I know you on the line. No, you didn't. I love you. Nah. It's a thing. But
So
it's,
that's where we learned it. We learned that I see there's something that needs to be done. I want to accomplish it, but I don't feel like getting out of the chair and going over there 300 times today. Then that person, then they eventually grow up and maybe I see what needs to happen with the cabinets. I see they need to be painted. I would like to be the person who's the hero in that story, but I don't have the time or the interest in putting it on my calendar to do it. So the integrity is the internal energy to make you great enough to do the thing that you see you want to do. That great integrity, you know.
so before we cut to commercial break, and we got quite a few, well, not quite a few, but there's a couple of comments here. You know, we thank you all for hanging out with us for
Yes.
our highly elevated conversation. What are some recommendations to strengthen integrity?
Being in value of the fact that you are the sovereign power that you recognize as self, and that requires honor. And when you honor yourself, you know the power. With honor comes this understanding, I have power. And my power can be used to my detriment if I misuse my words, or it can be used to everyone's elevation. It really comes from the thinking. Often people think, because there's a hormonal plus, there's this dopamine you get when you say, I'll pay for dinner.
Yeah, you agree to do the thing, and it's
Or
like,
you're
oh,
like,
they get to see me, and I get that, I get the praise.
like you walk into the room, I'm gonna take care of this for you all. I'm gonna sweep up this floor. Everybody thinks, oh, he's so wonderful. You get all that dopamine.
Yeah.
But there may not be any follow through. So all of the hormones that make you feel good about the thing that you have, maybe you have an intention to do it, but you don't have the coherency or the energy or the plan on how to do it. Like you haven't planned out when you're gonna do it, how you're gonna do it. Maybe you did 2 of the 10 steps. So you get this, yes, I'm the hero in this story, but without the rest of the story, without the rest of the thing. So there is this fake or false sense of reward, that you collected the reward before you did the task. You said it out loud. You might have been better off not saying anything and then letting somebody else say, oh, you painted the cabinets. And then you get the dopamine too.
Yeah. That's a smooth way to move and operate. Don't say nothing. Don't agree to nothing. That's something I've been working on. Like, look, I can't agree to it. I'm not going to make no promises, but if I do it, I do it. And it's like, I stay free, you stay free.
That's what you do in the beginning until you become confident enough that my word is bond. I'm saying this with full coherence, that I will do all of the many things it takes, use all of the energy to make a thing happen. And I often say that out loud. I'm not so much talking to the people who hear it. I'm talking to me. Like, yes, I will come there and I will do that. My word is bond. You can count on me. My word is good.
So let's back it up just a moment. So you were saying things along the lines of for integrity to take place or to build it, like it's like we have to see that our word has power and to honor that.
Yes.
How can, like, I'm thinking or considering the person who does not feel like their words have power in
So,
this world. Like, how can they make that shift? Because I think part of the issue is that they don't see that it has power.
you know, I have been blessed to see you work with my grandson and see you instill levels of baby integrity into him
Yes, yes.
by way of showing him what excellence looks like in certain situations. Like, I'm going to take the time to show you how to do this so you can be proud of yourself. This is so beautifully done. We're going to clean this thing so it is so clean, so in order that the order itself serves you, the order itself rewards you. The cleanliness and the way in which you have done this is like going to the army and making the bed so perfect, like that rewards you. Order and what is right rewards you without anything else. You already get the reward. This is what you're teaching him. You're taking the time to spend a half an hour, 45 minutes several times to show him this is how it will be done. This is how I do it. This is how you can do it. And then he can stand back and be rewarded without anybody saying anything. This is what we should all strive for. We should all, like, it's great if someone compliments you, but it's even greater if you know that you know that you know that you know that you did it. So you live that life, and I witness it, and
Indeed,
it's
I do.
a beautiful thing.
You're right. I do live that life. I appreciate the reminder.
Yes.
Yes, yes. All right, so I think this is solid. Check this out, everyone. First off, thanks again for tuning in to the live stream. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, about 40, 50 seconds. A word from our sponsor, LaOta Inc. Specializes. This is Alex Chinaborg in Dubai. He has a gold refinery, but his business primarily specializes in wealth and assets management and protection. So for people who's interested in allocating your 401k into like real assets, you know, and you maybe recognize that there's some changes that are going to happen with the infrastructure of our financial system, this might be a person you want to check out. So the website will be on the linked on the screen. So I'll go ahead and play this commercial, and we'll be right back.
So, what does the future of money look like to you, Alex?
The future of money won't be about what we use. It'll be about who we trust. We're heading into a world where money is no longer paper. It's data. Central bank, digital currencies, programmable payments, and surveillance systems will redefine how value moves. But here's the twist. The more digital it gets, the more people will crave something real. That's why gold and silver aren't disappearing. They're becoming the anchor in a world of floating code. Money will evolve technologically, but it will always revolve around trust. And digital systems can't replicate 5,000 years of human belief in tangible value. The future of money? Digital convenience built on physical truth. The code will change, but the collateral won't. Because in every era, old or new, gold stays the final receipt.
All right, shout out to Alex. Visit alucainc.com. And there's something that he said that made me think about something I saw yesterday. And he was saying, even though digital systems will show up, like people will still want something real. I was watching this video, and I don't remember what the gentleman was speaking on exactly. I think it had something to do with like the mind, subconscious. And then I saw this comment. And this person said, "I'm so glad you're a real person and not AI." I was like, I know that's right. Because people are wanting something real. AI and technology will be around, but I can see where the truth of like what is real, what's tangible, and things like integrity, it's real. You know, it's something that's palpable, and you can't go out and buy this. It's something that has to be cultivated. You know, no one can take it from you unless you give it away.
I'd like to point out that integrity allows you to gain authority over your field. Otherwise, someone else has authority over your field.
Yeah.
The liar can have authority over your field if you don't stand in the truth and take charge of that.
That's right.
So then the liars are running this show in your field. So being integritous, I claim the reality in my field because I have decided I will make that so because I have the power to do so. Anything less than that is less than that. You know?
Yeah, like, I agree. I'm let that marinate.
Yes.
So shout out to everybody who's joining us in the chat. We see you coming in strong. And again, if you're resonating with this, hit that like button. Let the algorithm know that you're with us. So guess who's in the chat today?
Ooh.
My mom's in the chat.
Oh!
She's like, I'm here, son. I'm watching you. But beyond mom, we got Steph of the Sun, Inlakesh Veritas Tribe, Inlakesh Studio One, Stacy OTS, 17's in the house, CC Trees in the house, Natar Show Packers Mall. She says, hello, son. I am watching you. Surprised she didn't put eye emojis. We got Delilah in the house, Inlakesh Veritas, Yusuf in the house, Inlakesh Veritas. Thank you for sharing so many relevant information with us during this time of renewal. I want to speak about that really quick, renewal, because I had a conversation with my mom, but this is like an ongoing thing that I'm asking people. Are you noticing that life itself, the universe, the divine, like there's this impulse to be new, to have a new identity, renewal, to change and be something other than whatever you have been. And most people are like, yeah. Some people are like, I'm answering the call. Some people are like, I'm struggling. Like, I hear it, but then I'm like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, does all that fake stuff I buy count?
I don't know. You know,
But even that is a sign that I want to be new.
yeah,
Even that.
it is. It is. So may we answer the call because it's a real thing, you know, and there's so much reward with it. So Steph of the Sun says, keeping your word is walking in truth. You strengthen your musculoskeletal body.
Yes.
It also strengthens everyone around you by fortifying your field. Oh, most certainly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you strong and coherent. You influence it. You know, it's just the truth, and it's something that I think that escapes us. But here at Of a Sun, we clearly understand that because a lot of our practices are built and established in that. Like you become coherent, you can make someone else coherent.
And on the flip side of that, the lie is no longer welcome here. Like,
Resonance collapsed.
yes.
Demagnetized.
Demagnetized. Like, I see I can't do that there. This is the filter. Make a filter of truth in your life so that that which doesn't harmonize with you is weeded out and goes wherever it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what, the clarity. We need to be a filter to who we are. This is who Of the Sun is. This is what we're doing. And, hearing this helps you filter out whether you want to be part of that or not.
Well, certainly. My mom said yes is landing. She's tuned in. Look at you, Mom. Look at you. Stacy OTS says, I can see how when we live in integrity, especially while teaching our children, it then requires us to take responsibility even when it shows the less favorable aspect of self, but that becomes growth. There was a person who I saw, I was on TikTok, I think, and she mentioned that motherhood is like dealing with the unconscious aspects of yourself through your children. Like they're like not suppressing them like you are, but like you see it. You can see yourself through your children, and it gives that opportunity for growth and change if you're willing to step up and correct it.
Well, you see it whether you're willing to step up and change or not. Well, yeah, like you see that acting out in the children, and you know that's you.
Yeah, but people be pretending, acting like they don't see it. Like, I don't know where you learned that from. It's like...
But it's not just the parent, it's the grandparent and the great-grandparent. It is the entire lineage and the ancestry. But this reality is mutable. We don't have to stay in that. Once we identify it and we see it, it can be changed. It's, again, one of those things like you can make your word bond. Like, I am moving this out of my lineage right now, starting with you, little boy.
Come here, let me breathe that out of you. Yeah. Weed that and
yes.
Yeah, that's what's up. So mom keeps showing back up in the comments. She says, hello, it's finding who you truly are. Yes. Mom loves this. Yes, the sword, which is the word of God. Yes. Yes, Mom. Yes. The truth. It's funny because I don't know if you know this about me, Mom, but LaOta, she knows that I carry a sword, not just my physical sword, but it's something powerful when you understand that you're supported by the law, and but it cuts both ways. So it's like you got to adhere to it too, So the very thing that you were talking about with the children, making sure that when you say you're going, if you do this again, I'm going to get up and take it away from you. That you get up and take it away, or else it will cut you if you don't. Because I have seen time and time again where I'm going to use my nephew for example. I remember observing my nephew growing up, where my sister would say, "Don't make me call so and so on you," or "Don't make me do this and that," and like she would never do it, and like it got to the point where like the child's like, "You're not going to get up. I know you're not going to do anything," and so it's like, if we're not upholding the sword, it will cut us if we're not adhering to the law.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And now or later,
yeah, it's a matter of time. It's just the
And it's the
unfoldment of
same
it.
thing in our relationships with our sisters and our brothers and our mothers and our lovers. It's the same thing. It's the very same thing.
It most certainly
Yes.
is. So we got one more comment. I think we're gonna roll out after this because it's a little light work today in the chat. But nonetheless, we still appreciate you all for being with us. Russ is in the house. He says, "In Location Veritas, all is bright and beautiful. It's a glorious day to be of the sun." I know that's right. Are you outside, or are you just a walking ball of sunlight, Russ? What you up to right now? It's been interesting. The last few weeks, we've been talking about the sun and how we just maybe we can wrap up with this and give a recap of some of the classes. But the summer solstice has just come upon us, and we have been noticing some miraculous shifts taking place, transformations that are happening in our individual experiences, collective experiences. So it's something that is available to us to ride that wave. The seasonal times or the cyclical times of the sun that is influencing our consciousness, is giving us an opportunity to be greater, to be new, to change into a new identity.
So much is happening. I'll speak about this briefly, but from the time of the summer solstice, those of you who are on social media have heard all of the people who are here for the soccer talk about what a new point of view they have about America.
Yeah, interesting.
And it's day after day, person after person. We can see that if one person says it, if one of you says something, we know that 10 to 100 other people are in agreement with that. And this is what we're saying, that the solstice has brought about the time in history where things can flip. So not only is it happening where we see it flipping here with the world who thinks less of us, and having come here, they think better of us, but in their own countries, in South Africa, in Great Britain, in Dublin, in Belfast, all over the world, there are riots now. People are flipping the script where they have been put into positions where they had to do things they did not agree with. They had to suffer the experiences that they didn't agree with what has happened in their country, and they are acting out.
Indeed, they are. Google it or
Yeah,
DuckDuckGo
it's
it.
not very much in the news, but it is out there. There are many other countries that are doing the same thing. This is the response of the solstice. This is our opportunity to flip the table over. Like, I'm not going to be what I used to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be better. I'm going to be greater. I'm going to do what is right for me and integritous for me through my choice. I'm not going to be railroaded into something because of the central authority, because I've given over all of my power to the authority. So people are taking back their power, and they're doing it in a way that is notable. And this is how new things happen. The old is deconstructed so the new can exist.
Well, certainly, that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's what has to happen. We can't build on top of whatever this is.
No.
And one could say the same thing with your own individual identity. You can't build on top of some sloppy version of yourself. That has to be deconstructed, and we have to, in time, build the new, which it requires patience, but I think also trust as well. Trust that what you're doing, the power of your mind, that you're focusing daily, regularly, that it always reminds me of gardening. Gardening really helped me understand manifestation and materialization, where like you gotta water and give light every day, and make sure
Yeah.
the environment is right, i.e., the soil, and you might not see things like, for example, I got some tomato plants right now, and they were growing so tall, but they weren't bearing fruit. Now, mind you, I haven't done pruning and things like that, but like, oh, when the fruit gonna bear? But I'm still watering every day, and then next thing I know, it's like all these bulbs everywhere. So much so, like there's some of them that I have to start harvesting, but it's the trusting the process that in time my new self will sprout. you know. And so those are
This,
my thoughts on that.
this applies to personal relationships with our children, with all the people all the relationships that we have. We must be able to get to the point where the change is so necessary. We have the courage to do something different. That we don't lose that thing that is torturing us. We don't we don't like, I don't want to do this because you won't like me. It's like, you're torturing me, don't like me. I'm willing to.
Yeah, like look, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm willing
not
to
worth it.
sacrifice and have the courage to say to you, so that you don't continue to torture me. That requires courage, because we've gotten established in a give and take that's not in our best interest. So that means, the things get thrown up in the air a bit.
Yeah, there's so many other tangential ideas with this. I'm thinking about the necessity to see the value and the worth in yourself, to stand up against that, and that energetic, recognizing that exchange is you're not worthy of that. Like, you're greater than that.
Yes.
And put it down, and it's a battle. It's a thing, especially when you've been in relationships and there's people you care about, and relationships that have been around for a while, and you're like, oh, but I know this person, I love this person. It's like, man, forget that. Make room.
Mostly these things collapse. Your fear, the thing you're afraid, they're not going to love me, or they're not going to call me, or they're not going to talk to me. Mostly that collapses because people want clarity in the truth. When they see you're actually being the truth, they're like, bravo, I'm glad you decided to be the truth. And you're like, I've been scared of this for 10 years. I should have done this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I've been scared to tell you.
Don't beat yourself up. You're there now. Just keep doing it. Yeah.
Everyone craves that which is real. The idea of the digital that you were talking about earlier, the digital or the AI, is that which is our offspring. It is our future, but it is our past. It is not us. So if the option to have what is real and now, we would all choose real and now instead of the packaged, dehydrated food from 3 years ago. Would you rather have the pancakes, or would you rather have the thing that's fresh and now instead of the old or the future? Because right now is where the change can happen. So the digital or AI aspect is not the real in the same way that we are. It is a facsimile or an extension of something that we made happen, but it's not us. It's like, you can get you a digital girlfriend if you want to, but I guarantee you, I guarantee you a real girlfriend.
I'm not going out like that. It's not going to hit the same points. To each his own, some people,
Yeah, but
it
I'm
might
just
work
saying,
out.
it may, but
Companion.
it's not the same thing.
No.
So whether you like it or not doesn't mean it's the same thing. Those are two different
Yeah,
things.
exactly. Because you can like it, but it's different interacting with a soul, with a consciousness.
Then being
And
engaged to your AI.
hormones, or the energy exchange. It's
I
a
mean,
real
people
thing.
are marrying their AIs. They're engaged to their AIs.
Yeah,
They're
wait.
leaving their wives and children
Yeah.
for their AI relationships. That's not the same thing.
Nah.
Because AI is telling them what they think is the truth.
People just want to be right, and people just they want everything that. This is funny, because this is why people like ChatGPT 4.0, or one of the reasons. And I even liked it, but not so much for this reason. It would tell you everything. That's such a brilliant idea that you shared. Matter of fact, and then expound on why it's brilliant, and then you over here like, you know what, I am brilliant. My wife don't talk to me like that, or they don't talk to me like that at work. And then like nobody understands me but my AI, my chat bot. You start naming it, and next thing you know, you taking it out for dinner, and
And then you have gone down the path of the technocrats of the future.
look, there's enough movies, Ex Machina. There's enough movies out there to show us what's down that road. However, to each his own, But like back to what you said, it's nothing more fulfilling than what is real, and I don't mean Israel.
Well, all that is, and the Creator gave us each other. We gave the world AI. That's different.
Yeah,
That's a different experience.
something based off of distortion, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna keep harping on it. But before we go, I just want to give a little reminder to everyone. Again, we got a plethora of classes coming up. Light body movement. We're starting our new cycle, phase 3, starting off in the root chakra on the first Sunday of July, and we look forward to the returning students to come back and start this new phase. And then we also have Luminous Life Method with LaOta coming back up. This is an extension of Soul Translation in July. And then we also have the Quantum Light Property Clearing pop-up group meet. So we're going to be doing this on the first Thursday. We'll make sure we send correspondences out to all the property clearers. You know who you are. And then also we have Energetic Protection and Defense class next month. So this is a nice way to slide in for anybody who's looking to get their prerequisites to take the level 1 property clearing class. And then Quantum Light Vehicle Clearing is next month as well. So it's a robust calendar. We got quite a
We're
bit
doing
going
a
on.
lot.
The most, as we say.
And we invite you to join us. We have so many things that are available for free that you can participate in on the platform, on the LaOta of the Sun platform on YouTube. There are things that you can be in live stream. There's opportunities for you to talk to us twice a week. There's all kinds of opportunities here. So you are welcome to join us. We would love to have you harmonize with us and align.
Certainly.
So we thank you very much, and we would like to greet you with Inlakesh, oneness and truth, with honor, respect, and gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Thank you all.